name is Angelo Lopez. I'm here with two very good friends, Neela Shukla and Angela Hsu. The three of us will be talking about our love of public libraries, specifically the Sunnyvale Public Library. So thank you both for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you, Angela, for inviting. Pleasure
Uh,
to be here.
Oh, sure. Thank you. And a disclaimer, for 30 years, I worked in the Sunnyvale Public Library and other public libraries. So take what I say with some suspicion. So, so let me first start out by asking you both and stuff. Um, what was your earliest memories of being in the library, and what were your favorite childhood books?
Neela, you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go. I mean, see, I can't say no. So, I'm from India, so I was in India school, and the medium I studied was my language, and my cousin was older than me, and one day he takes me. I was a little bit younger in middle school or high school, probably I don't remember, and he took me to this called British Library, and I had never, like, my school library was smaller, but it's on, like, we didn't have many books on the English. I mean, I don't even remember that when we were young, we had probably a room full of books, like, and then we just go there, but not real big library. But he took me to British Library, and I was like, oh my God, it opened my world
Yeah.
just seeing that. And so I think it was I think every city had this, Britishers had funded, and they had provided libraries. So a lot of big cities have a library funded by Britishers, colonial time.
Yeah.
And those books are from all over the world. So I was blown away. I was like, my cousin became my mentor.
Um,
So, that's what the first time it took me, and it was completely different than my family, like backgrounds and all. It brought me to another, like another world that
yeah.
so that's what my experience is. It's going to British Library. And then I kept on going constantly.
Oh, okay. Did you have a favorite books when you were young, or?
Yes, I mean, I had so like I had a lot of I mean, I'm trying to think that time that I always got gravitated towards some poetry books. I know that
Oh,
sounds so weird, and philosophy and yoga.
oh wow.
And so I know it's like that's so
This is when
weird.
you were a kid? You were a kid?
When I was like middle school or something.
Wow,
So
you were smart. You were a pretty
middle
sophisticated
school.
kid.
No, it's just I got no. I mean, not like, I mean, now I think about it's more like they're little tidbits, they are not very thick book. They are like
Okay.
thin published book, thin,
Oh, okay.
very tiny. There are in India, there are like publishing houses which they make like 13 pages, 23 pages books, and they are
Oh,
small. So you kind of pick it up and you get, there are so many thin books that you just go and read 13 pages. No, so that's only I'm telling you. So it is very small, like it is like very nicely arranged. The words are arranged, but like poetry form, but it tells you it's a small stories or like cartoon stories, like
yeah. Okay.
but like they are much more given in very simple form, not like I never grew up reading like people like all this like what is it called, the cartoon stories. Every kid grows
Oh,
up
that was
reading.
me. That was me. I
Yeah,
love cartoons
every
when I
kid,
was a
like
kid.
my kids and all, they love those, and every culture has it. But see, I don't even know the names of it. But I was never into like those stories told by vision images. I always was stories told by poetic
Where
words. Yeah,
Oh,
so
but
that's
poetry
why.
is beautiful though. Pure poetry is
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, poetry.
Always thought that I always thought that the words arranged in a nice way, the same sentence arranged in a nice way has a beauty.
it
Yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it sounds like you had a very artistic outlook early in your life.
Yeah, and it's so funny that it's coming back. It's
Oh,
like it's like I didn't, after that, I went to study. I forget about all this thing. And then kids are gone now. Now, this is the time where I'm
Yeah,
exploring back again the poetry
yeah.
and all. Yeah,
Mm,
so that's
Oh,
a
that's cool. Well,
beautiful.
someday we hope to read one of your poems and stuff. So
Angela, you always like, oh God, you're so good. Like you always lift people up and
oh.
you give them you show them this lighthouse that go for it.
Yeah. Well, when I was young, I used to be too scared of doing things. It was later in life I said, why am I scared? I might as well go for it and stuff, and stuff.
Life
But
is
I had to learn that and stuff. So I kind of wasted some of my life being too scared and stuff. So I think, in life, we only have one life, right?
yeah.
So you might as well go for it and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, love it.
yeah. Yeah. How about you, Angela? Where you were at and stuff, and how were the libraries and stuff when you were growing up?
Similar to Neela, I grew up in Taiwan, so we have a different library in Taiwan. And my childhood memory is my dad, on every weekend, he will try to get us do something free.
Oh,
So he would take us to the library when the book is free, and he would take us to the gym, the school gym that is also free. So yeah, he saved a lot of money, and I started to love exercising and reading since I was little. So it was
yeah.
kind of like fun memory of me and my family. And my dad was not just taking me, because at that time my sister wasn't born yet. My sister was 10 years younger than me. So my dad will take me and my cousins, two of my cousins, and we'll go exercise together, read together. It was a fun time.
Sounds like a family thing for
Yeah,
you.
it's like a
It's very
family.
much a family thing.
Yeah.
Did you have any favorite books? Were you reading philosophy and poetry and stuff like
I'm not an event for sophisticated Nicola. But I like novels. One of the book I like is The End of the Green Gable. I read it in
Oh yeah,
Chinese
yeah, yeah.
version. End of the Green Gable. I
Yeah.
think it was turning into a movie. I also watched the
Oh,
movie, but it wasn't so great. I like the book. I like to imagine my own
yeah,
Prince Edward Island.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, for
It's
me.
it's
Oh.
sorry. It's so good that because it's like books are like you sit and read, then you exercise, then
Both
and
of
then
you.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, well, for both of you, it sounds like it wasn't just reading. It was also you were fulfilling your mind and your body. So, like for Neela, yoga and poetry, and
Yes.
and I guess for Angela, libraries and gyms and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was a good balance and stuff. So
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, yeah. For me, it was. I didn't go to a library in the beginning. The library went to me and stuff. There used
Oh,
to be something called the bookmobile and stuff. And so when I used to live in my Moffett Field in the 70s, and in Moffett Field, the Mountain View Library would have these bookmobiles that would go to the neighborhood, and they would bring the books to you and stuff. And
wow.
that
Yes.
was cool. Is I remember being so excited to go inside the bookmobile and stuff. But for me, I didn't have anything sophisticated like poetry and stuff. I was reading like Encyclopedia Brown, where you would try to
Oh,
solve
oh.
a mystery and stuff, or the Hardy Boys. And then I loved any books that had pictures in it. So
Mm.
like Charlotte's Web, you'd see the pictures and stuff, or Alice in Wonderland, you'd see the pictures. That's what got me to love drawing. That and cartoons, Charles Schultz and stuff. But
Mm.
yeah, it was the bookmobile. And then when I went to the library for the first time, I had the same reaction as Neela. I was just like, this is so cool. And I've been a big bookworm ever since and stuff. But I do love poetry, and I do think it's just that I think I got into poetry later in life, not early. I think early in my life I wasn't that sophisticated. So but
I'm
yes.
sorry. The word I used is poetry, but it's like I do care about like it's a trashy book or it's a good book. That's what I
Yeah.
meant. Like poet. I mean, so there is like it's a good words.
Oh
So
no, 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 no. I like sophisticated and trashy poetry too.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't, I'm not as
I mean,
my
that's a
taste.
very, no, no, trashy books is like, because we define it, but it is not trashy. It has, people have spent a lot of time to write about it. So
Yeah.
it cannot, we call it trashy, but it's a sad. I mean, we should not.
Okay. No, I'm just going by what you said.
I mean, it's like, because it's like, I can't, I mean, it's like, that's our world, like, because we define our world so small. And
Yeah.
then the trashy is like our definition. It's my definition. Somebody's definition.
No, no. When I think of trashy, I think of those. I had when I was in junior high school, I had a crush on a girl, and this girl loved Harlequin romances and stuff.
Okay.
Barbara Cartland and yeah, and but when I think about it now, yeah, it doesn't matter and stuff. As long as you enjoy the book, it doesn't matter if what people think and stuff. But I remember she loved those kind of Harlequin romance books,
Yeah.
and that was around the time when Princess Diana got married and stuff. And I kept thinking like,
But it is I mean, there is a whole sector, and it's so fun. I mean, they are good books because to write the
yeah.
stories and like touch your emotions. And so I think there is some, I mean, because I don't read doesn't mean that that they are.
No, I'm just thinking that no clueless junior high teenage boy can ever be that romantic. You know, yeah, those Harlequin romances set up an impossible standard for any teenage boy to live up to. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So, okay. Next question and stuff. Um, what are some current services that you are using in the library, and what do you like about the Sunnyvale Public Library?
Go, Angela.
Yeah, sure. I signed up for Sunnyvale Library for probably 5, 6 years now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I still remember the day when I moved to Sunnyvale and I discovered there's a library just across the street of where I was staying at that time. And
Oh,
they told me you can borrow 100 books at
yeah, you
one
can.
time. It
Yeah.
was mind-blowing because in Taiwan, we can borrow only 5 books at one time.
Oh, wow.
So I
Wow.
started grabbing everything I can. I think I have 30 in bed. I was so ambitious.
Yeah,
And and after 3 weeks, I just finished 3.
yeah.
All 30 without reading it. Now I know, okay, my rhythm is 3. Yeah, it's like a 1 per week. So
Yeah.
I started to figure out that. And now I moved to Milpitas. So I realized, yeah, Milpitas library is kind of new, better, I mean, newer in the infrastructure than the Sunnyvale library. But when I need some book, Sunnyvale library is most likely will have it. Like the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm reading this one, the Midnight
Oh,
Library.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I check both library and yeah, Sunnyvale Library has it, and it's always like they have multiple copy. So I feel like yeah, Sunnyvale Library is my major go-to place when I want
uh,
to read certain book. Yeah. And yeah, besides that, what else did I do? Yeah, the library show for Sunnyvale Art Club.
oh,
We
yeah, 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 yeah.
every year at the library. Yeah, those are my 2 major reasons. I read a lot and I bring
Yeah.
my kids. I want to establish the habit like my dad established on me.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Oh, and if it's overdue, I think they wiped out fines
Right.
and stuff. So even if the book is late, even then you don't have to pay and stuff. So
Mhm.
do you guys ever check out DVDs and stuff or not?
DVD, yeah, a few times. Yeah, not
Oh,
that
Sometimes.
oh, okay, okay.
So for me, and when you talked about fine, so when my kids were small, Sunnyvale never forgave fine before,
Yeah.
because I remember that like when my kids were small, and I always like when I was started, like I quit my job, and then I had this love for architecture, and I would get these big books, like thick books of architecture from Sunnyvale Library. And
Yeah.
like Angela, I'll bring like 10, 15, and then I will not return because it gets it gets lost in kids. Kids will pick up. I mean, and I had sometimes a fine of like $40, $60. And I'm like, oh my God, I could have bought the book, I mean, like, so I stopped. But I have a I mean, it was really bad, like, because I get so excited because all these architecture books are thick books are
Yeah.
not like you can't afford to buy. They're like $100 and all thick, like picture books, like artist books or architect. So I would pick up all these books to learn about them because I get so excited. And the same thing happened to me, but I love Sunnyvale Library. So
Yeah.
I would I think every city I have gone, even for a little while, I would become member. First thing that I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
go and become member, and I would borrow the books and read. And it's just but Sunnyvale especially, I was very impressed when we did our art show in
Yeah.
the library, and then I just realized that they do so many other programs. Like I remember the kids bringing kids to do like face painting
Yeah.
and outside. So they have this children's program that I don't participate now.
Yeah.
But I just whenever I'm bored, like my kids are gone now, they're working. So whenever I'm like, oh, I just don't like I want to like not feeling good.
Yeah.
I first thing I go is library, and
Yeah.
I come back refreshed because there is some event happening
Oh.
outside. People are playing music, and I discover, I find out by random accidents that
Yeah.
so many events are happening in life, but I did not consciously go. I went there to participate, but I just think it's my go-to place
Yeah.
whenever I'm not feeling good. I don't want to do anything. Instead of calling friends and all, I mean, I do that too, but
Yeah.
like
You
you
know,
don't
the
have.
library is not supposed to replace your friends. I just want to let it's not.
But sometimes, it's so good because if you want 2 hours friendship, like if you would just want to meet for a couple of hours, like
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
friends, you call and then you can't decide the time because they are not going.
Yeah. 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 Well, you can always bring your
Library,
friends to the library and stuff
library
too.
is great because you
Always
decide it's like a 15 minutes friend, 30 minutes friends, or like one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But
you know
not
what?
more than 2 hours, friends,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
I never hang out more than 2 hours.
Yeah. But you know, now that there's no fines, you can check out those books again. So
I
if
did.
there's an architecture book you want to check out,
Yeah.
just check it out and stuff,
Yeah, so
And
I did check out recently. I check out you would be surprised what kind of books I checked out. It's like essay books, like like prose kind of thing. So I checked out a couple of books and I was so surprised that these are the foreign international writer translated books. So and
oh,
I was surprised to see them because I did not think that they will be there.
yeah.
And um they were there. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have a foreign language section of books and movies and stuff too. But thank you for paying those fines. It probably paid for my retirement and stuff. So I think so. Yeah, no, I'm retired because of you. So
I know. my fine, my fine probably will pay for your coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. But wait, what do you guys check out now? Is it mostly fiction and stuff, or are you mostly getting novels now in the
No,
library?
I got I watched a show called My Brilliant Friend. It's an Italian friend. It's an
Oh,
Italian. There's a woman. She Elena Ferrante, and she wrote. She's like not meaning she's hiding. Meaning she doesn't. Nobody knows who is she. So
oh,
she writes on somebody else's name, but and the HBO made a whole shows for her. And then because I loved that storytelling part of it, so I said, who? So I inquired and I found out, and I've been researching on her. Then I found out that I would like to read that book, the show was. But then I found out that she has written book on writing.
oh,
And like, so there are 3 or 4 essays in it. Like, so it's her thinking because she's not anywhere. So how do you find that? How did she come up with these ideas? Or she wrote a story on Napolitana, like in Italy. So
Yeah.
I'm so obsessed right now with her. So
Mhm.
I just randomly found it's like it was in my. I'm like, oh, I know this name. So I was in a bookshelf and I found and I picked up and I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm having a hard time to understand it,
Oh,
but I have to read them 2 times.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what I've been kind of reading. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Angela, you're just picking your favorite novels and stuff and checking it out from the library.
Yeah, I read a lot, like Neela reading architecture. I borrow watercolor, oil painting books
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I recently wanted to learn more about pastel and watercolor pencil, so I borrow those books. And I'm also into cooking. I eat organic food mostly. So I have some, yeah, read a cookbook. Yeah.
Uh,
Then I feel like I have 30 books at my home now.
Oh,
Yeah, and novel is another thing, and also self-improvement. There is a one book called Design Your Life. I
oh
wish I
yeah, yeah.
found that book like 20 years ago. I can design my career, my life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you guys are using the library and stuff.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah, but you know, even though there's 100 book limit, you don't have to check out 100 books.
no.
It's just, you know. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we have 8 minutes for the first video meeting and stuff. So let me ask one question. If we don't finish your answer, we can go to the next video and stuff. So I just want to know, what are your fondest memories of being in the library? What are your fondest memories? Okay. Is it like family, the art club exhibits? I can't answer. I spent my entire life. I have too many memories and stuff of the library. And
Yes.
you know, I can tell you some of mine, I guess, first, if to
Yeah,
give you some
tell
idea.
yours.
You know,
Yeah.
so like I began going to the library, you know, after the bookmobile and stuff. You know, every once in a while I'd get a book that's overdue, so I'd have to go to the Mountain View Library. But during high school, I went to the library just to study and stuff. And I have a lot of fun memories, even though the librarians were mad at us because we were too loud and stuff. So, you know, but yeah, I think my fondest memories, just as a patron, not as a worker and stuff, or like in college and stuff, my first girlfriend would wait for me because I would work and stuff, and then she'd just do her homework while while I'd worked. I was a page during my college years and stuff, and that was those were fond memories. And then my other friends, you know, would who stayed in the area would drop by and kind of say hello to me while I was working and stuff, and those were fond memories. And in the later years and stuff, Lisa, my wife now, she loved going to the libraries, but she loved checking out like TV shows she's never watched and stuff. And I have a lot of fond memories as a patron, just having her telling me, although she gets annoyed once in a while when a book is overdue and she'd have to pay and stuff. And I said, I can't help you there. you know? But I think a lot of my memories is just being with friends there, like, for the Sunnyvale Art Club exhibitions and stuff that were at the library. The fun thing for me was not so much the exhibitions, but just hanging out with friends and getting to know people in the club that I never knew before. A lot of my friends, like during the club meetings, that's not actually that much time to form a friendship. A lot of the friendships come when the club has a project. So like the art shows is when you get to hang out and just talk to people. Most of my friendships are from the shows, not from the actual club meetings and stuff. So those are my memories. It's just um, former girlfriends, my current wife, art exhibits, and friends and stuff. So yeah, and I don't think I've ever gotten kicked out, even though I was a noisy teenager. You know? Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I was going to say my recent memory of the library is also the show. we had a show in August, and I stayed one whole day. Although I'm not the event organizer, I stayed there just to talk to people. So sometimes I was in the front recruiting new club member. Sometimes I was in the back. We have a snack area for people to enjoy the snack. And
Oh
over
yeah.
there, I talk to other artists and talk about their passion about art and their process of creating art and all the skills they
Yeah.
leverage. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, fun memory of mine. And the other one, similar to Angelo, we study for the college exam. So in Taiwan, we have to pass an exam to go to a college. So during high school, me and four other friends, we would go to library and study together. So
Oh.
yeah, we will go to the buffet for lunch together, and then we come back to the library to study. That's how we spend all our week. We're high school students.
Were you
So
noisy?
those
Did
are
the librarians have to tell you to keep quiet, or were you pretty
yes,
good
you
kid?
have to be super quiet. Our study room is huge. It's like a 500 people in one big room. If you make any noise when you stand up your chair making the cracking sound, everybody gonna turn around and look at super quiet. Nobody's gonna blame on you, but you don't want to be looked at by
Yeah,
500 eyes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for like I met Angelo when we did the architecture, the Sunnyvale Art Club exhibition.
Oh,
Uh, remember, we got to know, we met at the Sunnyvale Library, and then we
yeah.
decided how what to do, and we did the whole exhibition, which you guys did. We did it 2 years ago. And that's the time I also so Angelo suggested to meet at the library. So I met with him and Mary. Three of us sit together, and then Angelo, you had so many friends. They know you, so people who were walking, they would
Mhm.
like they will stop by at our table, and there was like author, and there was somebody
Oh
else.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I forgot about
Angelo,
that.
it's like our meeting went on for a long time because somebody will join us, and so we were planning. So I remember like the outside table we sat,
Yeah,
and it was amazing. And after that I realized that area outside has become like a hub for me. Every
yeah.
time I have a planning every 2 weeks. I have a planning commission meeting, which is
Oh
at
yeah,
City
yeah,
Hall. So every month, Monday, I have to go there. So starts at 7. So I generally come half an hour early. I
yeah,
come and I stop because they were under construction, so there was no parking. So we had to park at the library and then walk there. So I would always make sure that I come a little bit early so I can go inside and check out this used
yeah,
bookshelf.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I would check out like, oh, any book which I can buy it because I mean that's because sometimes it's you want something and it's there. So you
yeah,
just pay it so cheaply available nowadays. So I always stop by and I always like to pass through that area. So I
yeah,
do like that. And my fondest, yeah, so exhibition was my great. And then recently also I feel that the kids activities like I stop by and then I see that they have this some station the photo, these are the new social media like noodle stuff that you
yeah,
can take pictures. So I just think that I feel like I'm a kid, just I enter the kids section and then I participate like just for 2 minutes. I really like, oh, can I take my photo? And then stand in a booth and then they take photo and I'm like,
yeah,
it's a random, like, I just like 2 minutes, I go, I do this and go away. But I think it's so good. Like, it just, it brightens your mind. And also, I like the exhibition, but unfortunately, it's very hard to see. I want to see the exhibition, like people's painting, but everybody's working. So it's like I'm very, so I go and I'm like, I look from far away. I don't want to disturb them. So that's the
Welcome back. I'm relieved you came back. So, so, but yeah, I wanted to add one more fond memory that just occurred to me and stuff is that two of my closest friends came about because of the library. It's my friend the Liebermans and stuff. My friend Jan Lieberman, who was a children's librarian in the Santa Clara Public Library, and her husband Don. and stuff is that some of, when I think of the libraries, I think of friendships, and those two were two of my closest friends, and they exposed me to jazz, to classical music, to American history, to a lot of stuff that I loved and stuff. And it was through them because they kept telling me, oh, you got to listen to Ella Fitzgerald, you got to listen to Frank Sinatra, you got to learn about who was their favorite. They loved Leonard Bernstein and stuff, and Aaron Copland and stuff. And because of them, I would go to the library and check out those items from the library. And it was through them that I became more sophisticated. I went to Neela's level of sophistication because you know, because of that and stuff. Because before then, I didn't know much about that stuff, and so it really the library
Yes.
broadened my. It was both a time of great friendships. So many of my friends, my memories of them are when we met in the library, but also most of my friends, they would introduce me to things that I never knew before, and then I would go to the library and learn about it and stuff. So it broadened my horizons and stuff. So yeah, but I thank the Liebermans. But one of these days I'll probably get into yoga, so I'll ask Neela, tell me about yoga, or or, what should I do and stuff. But even Lisa, she's expanded my horizons. So I listen to a lot more folk music now. She's a big
Oh,
fan of the Indigo Girls, and the Indigo Girls were big folk music fans and stuff. And I think through every friendship, they have interests that you don't know anything about, and then that's kind of cool. I should learn more about it. And the library is a great way for me to learn more about that kind of stuff. So yeah. So okay, okay. So did you both have anything else do you have memories of angry librarians telling you to be quiet and you know?
One thing I experienced when we exhibit our art in the tech center,
Yeah.
it's quite weird the place because you're supposed to keep quiet, but when people come to see your painting, you kind of feel like you need to talk about it. When you talk about it, it annoyed the people sitting there. And
Yeah.
one guy sitting there, I went to the library in several days. Like whenever a friend come, I join them into
Yeah.
visiting my art. And he heard about me talking about the same painting for like a 2 or 3 times. The third time he was like, okay, okay, I know your story. Can you guys please talk outside?
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. So you're educating people about art, whether they want to learn about it or not. Yeah, yeah. Well, they're sophisticated. They become more art sophisticated, whether they want to be or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, okay. So, okay. Next question, Mr. Um, for both of you, why are libraries important?
I think library is very important. It kind of it really reflects who are you living with, who are your other people in the city. Who, I mean, it almost gives you a whole, like, if you really want to, if you're in a new place and if you want to know what's that city is, you just go to library and you'll find out based on the resources or what kind of people and their books that it's like you are we have so much immigrant people in Sunnyvale, and it is so good to have library because there you feel similar type of people. And
Yeah,
I don't know, I mean, I can't say it much properly. Like, what I'm trying to say is that it's so important that it's like a communal place, even though you don't talk to each other, you don't know them, but it's the place where you feel that you all have same interest.
yeah,
And then and that's what I really like people you see in library. It's like you can trust them somehow.
Mhm.
So
They're
instead
good
of
people.
meeting somebody in bar or like on a road or like, I mean, just think about it. Like, you think that, okay, this person reads, I mean, I can have conversation with this person. So I feel that, I don't know, somehow library is very important.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and in the past, library has been a place that they house books. But I find the recent trend, book is important for our human being because that's how we learn and pass down our knowledge to the next generation. But recently, I find library has another function. It has expanded to recreation. Now you can borrow the library of things. I haven't used it, but I find it fun. You can get a state park pass.
oh
So
yeah,
yeah, you get the pass, you go to the state park or county
yeah,
park.
Ah,
Yeah, that's kind of good. Like they expanded. It's like a community, like a Neela said, and it's like a recreation center. Is that the right way? Right word? Where you find things to do and to hang out. Yeah.
yeah. And as artists and stuff, you guys have found the library important as a place for exhibition.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, they put, I mean, mainly the Sunnyvale city is so fortunate to have a great mayor who appreciates art.
Yeah,
So every library they are opening, they are murals, like what art they select, every piece is carefully selected. The same thing with our club, that the winner gets to put the painting, not everybody. I mean, yes, it's like a curated. So even the art is curated. So if you want to, if you are not into art and if you just want to know, I mean, I mean, you don't have to go to museum. You can
yeah,
just come there and little bit, just get for 10 minutes of education and go away. So I think you are right, Angela. It's like, it has become more like you don't, sometimes nowadays you don't go to read there. Before I used to go to, like, I'm going to sit down on a desk and read. But it is, but there is so many other functions that library can have, and it's happening. They are doing it. I think they are also having classes that they organize it, and you can participate. Like today is a thing. I think I did sign up, but we were coinciding, so I didn't go. It's a
Mm.
story time that there's a different ethnic group can come and share a story, and I signed up. I'm like, I will at least go and listen to other people. But
yeah.
anyway, so it is at 10 o'clock today, so I'm like, oh, I can't go.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry and stuff.
no, it's okay, but I wanted to do this. This was more fun, meeting my friends.
Oh, I'm
So
curious.
yeah.
What's the story you were going to tell?
Oh, they specifically said that ethnic, like you're growing up, or like they wanted you to story as an immigrant. So
Oh,
they are asking everyone to, like, tell stories which your culture or something. So I thought I would just make it. I mean, I would just, like, I have hundreds of stories, correct? So whatever is appropriate, I'll just say something, because I have stories, I just can tell stories without just wake up and tell stories. I mean, like my parents, and I mean, can you imagine that, like, my mom, my parents are here. I mean, it's like, because I came, so many stories, that it's so interesting that she grew up in a village where
Mhm.
they never had phone or electricity, and now they're like having tablet. I mean, they're like using phone, and I mean, those kind of stories, that how
Wow.
people get, my father is 92, but he's obsessed with tablets and all, and he studied without electricity. I mean, can
yeah,
you imagine
yeah.
the generation, like? So those kind of stories, that, like, I hear I always ask them, how was it? Because I want to know before they pass away, I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
know. So I'm spend more and more time lately, like you, Angelo, I always take I spend every week I spend time with my parents to
Mhm.
learn
yeah,
from them. So you have to read the books otherwise,
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So you have, either you go to library when you don't have people around you.
Right.
There's one thing you might be interested in. The Santa Clara Library has a genealogy thing. One of the things I've been doing is I recorded. It's too late for my mom and my father-in-law, but for my dad and my mother-in-law and stuff, I've been recording them just telling stories
Oh,
about their
wow.
childhoods and stuff. And
It,
the genealogy department of the Santa Clara Public Library can give you advice on how to preserve your family history. and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's one thing, since you're talking about like your immigrant experience. For me, I was born here. I'm a Navy brat and stuff, so I really don't know much about the Philippines. And
Mm.
so my mom was too sick to tell the stories, but my dad, I asked him, my cousin, and my uncle, so, what was it like being in the Philippines? So,
yes,
because they grew up during the 40s and stuff, they
yes,
went through World War II, then the Philippines becoming independent, and because the Philippines was a former American colony and
Mm.
stuff, Filipinos could join the American Navy and become citizens and
Oh.
stuff. Then, so that was their way of coming to America. So most, I think, pretty much all of my uncles and a few of my cousins and stuff went in the Navy and stuff so that they could
wow,
come to America and stuff. And it was they told some interesting stories. Like I've only been in the Philippines 1 month my entire life.
Mm.
So there was an interesting way of learning about stuff. So
yes,
like when you're saying that, I agree with you. You got to get the stories from your parents while they're still alive, because
yes.
once they're gone, those stories are gone and stuff. So
Oh.
yeah. Have you thought about that and stuff? Like recording the history?
Thank you. No, I will. Now I always thought that I wanted to like kind of take film, like I wanted to,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
hard because it's very hard because you want to be when they are telling the stories, you should not be like holding the camera, correct? Like I want to,
No, no,
I
no,
just
but
want to
you can
hear
you can
them.
you can use your phone. You can use your phone too. I learned from Angela. Angela, I bought those microphones from Amazon and
Ah,
stuff. So like when we did our talk and stuff, I didn't realize it, but you can put these microphones and then use the phone and record us and stuff. And the microphone helps you take out the wind or
yes, yes,
any extra, like there was I think when Angela and I had our talk, somebody was honking their horns, but in the microphone you can't hear it.
Yeah.
So I bought some and stuff, and they're not expensive. They're like 12, $15 and stuff.
oh
And
wow,
so I got it and stuff, and I did a talk with that, and it was great and stuff. The only thing is you only get two.
Mm.
So I had to be near the person who had the microphone so that they can hear me. That's the only awkward thing, is that you can only do two people and stuff unless you want to buy more microphones. But
okay,
I was too cheap to buy four, another set and stuff. So I thought, if I just stand next to the person and speak loudly and stuff, maybe they'll pick up my voice and stuff. But yeah, if you want to do that and stuff, because since you have since you're there and stuff, just hold the phone and stuff and just ignore the phone and then just talk and stuff. That would be a good idea for you and stuff, because yeah, because they probably have stories that you haven't heard of.
oh yeah, the reason I mean, so I will definitely use the resource you said about the microphone and also the Santa Clara genealogical, like how to do that,
Yeah,
because if it's like nice to know how to do it because rather than I reinvent my will, I can just go and use that. It'll be easier. So I will definitely go and check it out that how to collect the stories or something like that.
yeah,
Because
And
yeah,
I want to share that with my kids. My kids are like you, Angelo. They are born here and
yeah,
they
mm,
don't know anything about India. Like they've gone like probably a total like 30 days, 2, 3 times, 30 days at max. So
yeah,
they'll be talking the same thing. So and I think it'll be so good for them to share
yeah,
about their grandparents thing. So
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, and I even thought about making it a podcast. Maybe the three of us, we can already start a podcast with your dad talking about and
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
husband
yeah.
and then Neela's dad, Neela's
What
Yeah,
is
mother
that's a good idea.
pocket?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
What
yeah.
is
podcast.
pocket?
Oh no,
Podcast.
podcast.
A
Not
podcast.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I
yeah.
think
That'd be an
Angela,
idea.
you have Angelo it's a dearth of Angelo is so good with the podcasting, like
Oh,
taking the role.
no, I just do it for fun.
But
I think
this
it's
is
just
so
fun.
good idea. I'm telling you, we should do it because there are people, their parents are alive, and
Yeah.
they should record, because because of the social media and all, people are in a very fast gratification. This takes a little longer time, and the generation is completely going away as
Yeah.
the technology is changing,
Yeah.
you know?
I do it mainly because like once, I think it's important to I envy families that know their roots. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So like when my dad and my mother-in-law pass away, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren will be able to look at those videos and know this is what my great-grandmother was like. This is what my great-grandfather was like and stuff. I love my grandparents, but I really didn't get to know them because there was a language barrier. I knew English, and
Mm.
they spoke mostly Tagalog. They knew some English, but my fondest memories of my grandpa was whenever we had family get-togethers, he would be in the garage playing mahjong with my
Ah.
cousins and uncles and aunts and stuff. That's my fondest memories and stuff. But I kind of wish I was able to video record him just talking about the past.
Mm.
What are my roots and stuff? What's my
Mhm.
heritage? Angela, have you ever done that or no? Have you,
I thought about doing that, but both of my grandparents passed away too.
Yeah,
I heard my grandpa talk about how he survived World War II. He
yeah,
he loved studying, but because of the war, he has to discontinue his education. So I think he was at the elementary school, third
yeah,
grade, and then he has to drop out.
yeah,
And during that time, the war is happening. Nobody has any food to eat. And
yeah.
then he was sick, and then they have no money to bring him to hospital. So his brain has some damage because of the high fever.
Oh, yeah.
So he kept telling all this story, but I didn't get a chance to record it
For
when
them, yeah,
he said that. But yeah, I recall those story when he told me. It just hard for me to imagine there's a war happening, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, same
lucky.
thing with me. I was raised in America. We never, there's never been it hasn't been a war in American soil since the Civil War and stuff.
Mhm.
So I don't know what war is like, but my parents had a hard time in World War II when the Japanese invaded the Philippines and stuff. But, yeah, there was a time when my dad didn't like the Japanese and stuff, but then he was stationed in Japan and he made some Japanese friends and he realized war just brings out the worst in people and stuff, no
Yeah,
matter who you are and stuff. So he stopped disliking the Japanese and he realized it's just war and stuff.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff. So I understand what you're saying and stuff. So, but I didn't experience it myself and stuff. But I kind of wish I got those stories and stuff. So, but this is more of a praise of the Santa Clara Public Library than the Sunnyvale Public Library. So I'm actually, because
You
the
have to
Santa
cut
Clara
down on
Public,
this thing. You
yeah,
have to
because
cut down on.
I think from what I've heard, they do a good job with genealogy, helping people learn about genealogy and stuff. But I'm sure if after this video, the Sunnyvale Public Library will think, maybe we should do this too.
Thinking of that, like, because I know your next question, I'll say that they can start that program
Oh
once
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
have the
yeah.
bigger,
Speaking
because
of
then we
which,
don't need to go to Santa Clara Library.
yeah.
We can suggest them,
Oh yeah, although Santa Clara has a very good donut store across the street. It's called Stan's Donuts and stuff. During the pandemic, somebody I went to Washington D.C. to accept a cartoon award, and from out of nowhere, the guy said, "Oh, you live in Santa Clara? Have you gone to Stan's Donuts?" It's like, what is this? What a weird thing. So during the pandemic, I said, I should try Stan's Donuts. So Sunday morning, I went and there was a huge line, even though there was a pandemic, just because they wanted to get Stan's donuts. I didn't realize it, but you had to make an appointment to get donuts. So it was kind of weird. So if you do go to Santa Clara, remember to go across the
Okay.
street to get Stan's.
Okay.
In Sunnyvale, they have in the across when I retired, they were building a Pearl Tea boba place. So if you guys like
Mhm.
boba,
Yeah.
you may
Oh,
try the it's like a half a block and stuff
yeah,
in the
moon
corner of
tea. It's called moon tea.
yeah, yeah. Is it good?
It's great because they use the real tea leaf to make the tea. So
Oh,
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the real tea leaf tea. When it's
Okay.
a chemical powder, I can taste it. I don't like it. But
Yeah.
the first time I went there, they make me wait for 3 hours. I was there at 4 p.m. I waited my order until 5. I was like, it's taking too long. So I signed up. They notified me at 7 o'clock, your tea is ready.
oh my God.
My
You know,
experience.
is it faster now? Is it faster or is it, why is it
I
so
hope
slow?
so. I never went back.
Yeah, because I was thinking I haven't tried it yet and stuff, and but I haven't asked my former coworkers what it's like and stuff. But part of it is just when you go to a library, there's like a donut store, there's the
Oh.
boba place and stuff. There's things you can go to and stuff. One of the things I'm hoping is that you know, yeah, actually it's still near the boba place. I'm hoping that they speed up the boba's delivery and stuff. So I don't want to wait 2 hours to get a boba.
2, 3 hours, that's crazy. Just for, I mean, I have like Santana Row has one boba place, and there is a line, and it's really gorgeous. But you can get it probably in 10 minutes. Like you're
I
paying for.
know.
I mean, this is like 3 hours. My whole desire. It's like it's a instant gratification. I mean, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you can't get instant gratification waiting 2 hours. So, oh, okay. Okay. Well, here, last question for you all before, because yeah, the boba and donuts have nothing to do with the library. So,
But thinking about boba and donut, our new library, we library should have some. I wish that there is a library has a place of coffee or something, because you always want, like, when
oh
you
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
tired, it's like reading is associated with like hot drinks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
They
yeah.
should have maybe they should have a place, or like
Oh
something
yeah, yeah.
they should
Santa
have.
Clara does. The Santa Clara Public Library has their own coffee shop. So in the library. So
How come I don't know about that?
I
So
oh
didn't know that neither.
yeah, actually, I don't know why I'm saying this because this is more of a promotion of Santa Clara than Sunnyvale. You So, okay,
I
skip
mean,
what I said.
maybe.
Okay, ignore that. Okay.
Okay, ignore that, ignore that.
Okay. Okay. So, but okay, last question. Okay. What are both of your thoughts of the bond measure that's coming up this November that proposes to construct a new building for the Sunnyvale Public Library? And, Neela, if you want, this is your time to suggest the coffee shop.
Yes, I do. Okay, so I do think it's very important bond measure, because even though a lot of residents, they believe that they don't need to pay for this, is a little tax money. But I think we need library. Our library is really, really very old building. It's
Yeah.
really old. I can see that, and and changes, our needs are a little bit changed. As Angela was saying, that it's not that always we go there to read, because people are reading on tablet. They kind of subscribe it, they borrow it, they read it at home. But we need like a lot of other things where people can come. And so I really believe that it is very important, and I hope it passes, because our library building is small. And I heard that the physical structure is so old that all this kind of drainage services and all, they are really breaking apart. So that's one. And then other thing is we need also new books, because I mean, even though there are good things about that, I can find books, but there are so many books we don't have. So if we have bigger buildings, bigger new resources a little bit. So I think it's very important with the coffee store and like exhibition place. I mean, at least these are the existing services, they can serve us better. That's
Yeah.
what
And such a small building, they do so much
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Neela. I think with the newer buildings, we can design from scratch what really customize the citizens' need. I visited several libraries in the U.S.
Oh,
Wherever a city I go, when I was living in North San Jose, I visited the North San Jose library, and they are very small, but they have this study room on their own, and I think they also have something like a recording room. If you're a YouTuber or you're a podcaster, you go there to record your
Oh,
next
I didn't know
episode.
that. Oh, that's so
I know
cool.
the newest library, they have it because they're new. They have the space to design for the younger people, younger generation.
Oh, yeah.
And also Milpita's library, where I went often now, they have the small study room and they have a lot of comic book for the young
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And they also have mother's room for mothers who is
Wow.
breastfeeding. So it's
Oh,
like, so yeah, they did a lot of design to customize people's need. And yeah, and I think the computer section is in the central and the art is in the separate place. So when you're thinking about your art, you're not bothering people using computer. So a lot we can take into consideration to make a library a better place.
that's kind of funny.
That is so interesting.
So
I mean,
you basically want a building where you don't have to bother the computer people when you're talking about
or we force them. Like art should be part of like everyday life. So we put art everywhere.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think,
that's cool.
yeah, I think it's our I just cannot, I did not know about what you said, Angela, that that there is a, because these are the new functions, new culture of the young generation, the needs of young generation,
Yes.
and what we come up with the older things, and we should definitely, but that only happens if the ballot passes, correct? Because the library doesn't happen, then we are just stuck. They will have to just improve whatever it is there. They can't add new things, or you can't improve, or you can't completely change the functionality of what it is. So I like that idea very much
Yeah.
about, like, the podcasting room, film rooms, or like,
Mhm.
because there are people who likes to read very quietly. There are people who love people. So you
Yes.
can have the way, like, give them some different variations, like different
Yeah.
types of,
The
yeah.
teenage me would be the
Yeah,
enemy.
yeah. So you can make friends when it's in crowded room, but at the same time, you want to
Yeah.
go alone, then you can just go there. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know some of this stuff. See, I think because I'm an older generation person and stuff, some of this stuff would never have occurred to me and stuff. It's
Yeah,
nice to have fresh new ideas, right? And stuff.
yeah.
And I think a library, if it's to keep be, it always must evolve to meet the
Yes.
community needs and stuff. So yeah,
I
like
also think sorry to cut. I also think, before I forget, that the outside plaza,
yeah,
they always have like people protest or like entertainment, but at the same time it's like a civic space. If
yeah,
you have any question, or you want to like bring, like, you have some ideas which you don't agree with
yeah,
about, so you can protest there, and you can like make your idea public, and
yeah,
Mhm.
that happens outside the library, because library is supposed to be like free thinking,
Yeah.
correct?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is the another, the functionality of library.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and after you protest or get entertained by the music and stuff, you can go wait 2 hours
In
for.
a boba place.
But you don't have to do that if they have a coffee shop in the library and stuff. So
Exactly. You can
yeah,
just kind of have coffee there, and then be energized.
yeah. That's why you need the donuts and stuff. So.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's good and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they're I don't know what their plans are, but I'm assuming the city will provide it because there's always a thing where they open it up to the city and people get to suggest things and
Mm.
stuff. So yeah, I don't know when that is and stuff, but yeah, that's so coffee shop. Okay. Well, thank you both. You have anything else to add or no? No, okay. So okay. Well, thank you both. And so for anybody who listened to this particular episode of a particular talk, go to your local library, enjoy and stuff, and yeah. Find out all the things that the library can do for you. Thank you.